All right, guys. We got Coach Avent joining us now. Ready for questions. We got Eric Olson. Go ahead.
Hey, Elliott. Eric Olson with the AP out in Omaha. Nice to see you again.
Nice to see you.
Oh, for the
I like dogs. Don't worry about that. I love dogs.
Yeah. Hey, I wanted to ask you real quick about offense at TD Ameritrade. You were here in 2013, and when you were here, that was kind of before the ball changed, and it was a little bit tough to get offense going there, but still not easy today to get the ball out of the park. And with all these home runs being hit, I was just wondering if the offensive mindset has to change a little bit when you play out here.
Well, I do remember in 2013, I remember seeing Kyle Schwarber in the hotel lobby the morning after his game. Schwarber hit one, he killed one, and it didn't get out. And I remember jumping out of the dugout in the against UCLA. Trey Turner hit one that he put his hand up in the air. I jumped out of the dugout, which I never do, and that ball didn't get out, and so we lost to UCLA. So I remember it's tough to get the ball out of there, but I don't think you can't change who you are this time of year. You have to be a team that's versatile, that can score different ways, and I think that's what we have. We have team speed. We can bunt. We can drive the ball out of the ballpark, but it's about singles and hitting gaps as much as anything. I don't think you can change your offense, but you do hope your offense has some versatility to it.
Thank you.
Go ahead, Aaron.
Hey, Elliott, Aaron Beard with the AP also. When you looking back a little bit, when you guys started 1-8 in conference play, what was the biggest one or two things that maybe weren't coming together then that have come together now that have kind of helped you guys make this drive through the last half of the schedule?
I just say one is health. You know what I'm saying? Even though we've had a lot of injuries on the pitching side, that only one of those guys has come back for us, and he missed 2/3 of the season. But I think Jose Torres started the first month of the season with an oblique strain. We lost Austin Murr and Johnny Butler for a couple weeks. And I think it's basically getting our lineup in the lineup every day and then sticking to it. I mean, when you start out 1-8, you got to have a lot of character and a lot of will to win and a lot of commitment in that locker room to start out that way and be where we are now. So I think you got to give a lot of credit to getting healthy and a lot of credit to the players in that locker room.
Just to follow up on that, did you worry at all? Like you said, you have to have a lot of character when you dig yourself that kind of hole. Did you worry how the guys may respond or feel really nervous at that time?
It's just the nature of being a coach is you worry about everything, but I didn't worry about these guys. These guys make up their character has never been in question. I just told them after the Arkansas regional, I just said, every one of you guys, most of your families are here for this weekend. You should leave this locker room and go thank them for raising the good people that they raised of high character and good accountability and those kind of things. You should go thank your mom and daddy.
Go ahead, Alec.
Yeah, my first question is just who is this little one you got with you?
Well, this is the one. I've had such a blessed life. It's been unbelievable. And the one thing that I miss out on is having children. So I love kids. So Scott and Emily Insel, James is here with me. We've been gone like 5 out of the last 6 weeks. We've been on the road the entire time except for the home weekend against Florida State. And so if you want to see your children, they pretty much have to come to the ballpark now. And so James is up in my office right now, and I'm seeing James a little bit. I think he wants to go see his mama, though.
All right, and then my actual question is about Jose Torres. He obviously had 3 home runs this weekend, the huge one on Sunday. We've talked so much about the freshman pitcher stepping up, but he's also a guy that, hasn't been through this before. For him to have that moment Sunday for this team, I mean, just how much does that mean to him, mean to this team?
Well, I'm sure it does. I mean, Jose Torres turned down a lot of money out of high school, and that's hard for a young man to do. He came from a great high school, Calvert Hall in Baltimore, and outstanding family and a good big brother who gave him some great guidance. And so he decided to come to college, and it's worked out well for Jose, and it's worked out well for NC State. He's a great player and a long line of great shortstops we've had at NC State. And all those guys that we've had here have gone on to have outstanding careers in professional baseball. And I'm sure Jose is going to follow that path as well.
Go ahead, Casey.
Hi, Coach. Casey Hens from WREL. First question for you. After Friday's game, you mentioned Reed maybe just wasn't feeling himself. Just following up on him, seeing how he's doing and if he will be good to go for the weekend.
Well, you hope so, Casey. Matter of fact, I love your Yankee hat. I don't see JB Ricks, but JB honored me with the Tigers hat. I think he thought he was Magnum PI the other day. So I like your choice of hats. That was my daddy's team, the Yankees. But anyway, to your question, Reed saw our physician, Dr. Weicker, this morning at 8 o'clock. The report that I got from the trainers that he's good. I'm sure he's a little bit tired. Reed didn't seem himself in the first game against Arkansas, and I got him out earlier than usual. And but he says he's okay. But Reed has logged a lot of innings, and he's done a lot of things for this program in his career. But he checked out good with Dr. Weicker this morning, so that's good news. And we'll just make the decision on when to start him. Maybe he just needs a little rest.
And if you don't mind a follow-up, just we've talked so much about your freshman pitchers down the stretch, big timely hittings, but your defense, number one in the ACC and tops in the NCAA when it comes to fielding percentage. Just if you could speak on, how the attention to detail there has helped.
Well, all coaches will tell you in any sport you win with defense when it comes down to it. So for baseball, it's pitching and defense that you win, because on a given day, if you got good pitching and defense, they're going to be there more often than offense is. Hitting the baseball is such a hard act to do, and it kind of goes in not streaks, but there's ups and downs of hitting. So, but our defense has been consistent all year, and our 5 pitchers that have logged the bulk of our innings this year have been amazing. And it's so that's what I don't know what percentages are, and percentages don't mean a lot to me. I was told we were fielding like 983, which is the highest percentage I think any team of ours has ever fielded, and it's an amazing percentage. It's hard to believe that you can field 983 not on AstroTurf. And but more than that, for me, it's some defensive plays that we've made throughout the year that are is what's gotten us to this point. We play very sound defense. We're smart, and but this time of the year, as we tell our team every day, there are 8 great teams left in this, and they're here for a reason. They're all playing well at the right time, and so the little things matter even more so now than at any time in the season. And so you're going to have to play extremely well to advance out there in Omaha.
Thank you.
Go ahead, Schnittiger.
Elliott, obviously, you've talked about before that you guys have a little bit of a thin pitching staff in terms of depth. How well do you think that the scheduling format in Omaha with the days off sets up for a team like you guys, where you can maybe get guys like Chris Villeman and Evan Justice a little extra rest in between games?
Well, certainly. I told our guys when we left the ACC tournament, they just went through the most grueling tournament they'll have to go through. 12 great teams in a week, less than a week span. And then when you go to the regionals, you got 4 great teams in a weekend span. And then obviously last weekend was 2 out of 3. So this is separated a little bit. We play Saturday, we play Monday. I haven't looked past that, but obviously there have been some teams that have won some championships, and they won it with having a couple great arms do the bulk of the damage. So if you look at that situation, there's some great pitchers here. Kyle Peterson has talked about the guy we're going to face from Stanford. I've talked to some friends of mine that have faced him. They say he's unbelievable. And obviously you got Vanderbilt with Kumar and Leiter. And so I'm sure Tim Corbin feels good about that. But we like our staff. They've gotten us where we are. And it's certainly better in this format than it has been the last 3 weekends.
And if I could ask a follow-up, you've talked a lot in the past several weeks about how much you love this team and the resilience and the hard work that they put in. Just looking at everything that these guys have had to go through all year, from the tough start and the COVID pause early on and the injuries that some of them have had, how happy are you for them to get this reward of being able to go to Omaha for all their hard work and just kind of fighting back through those things?
Yeah, I've talked about that a couple times. It's all about the players. It always has been. The reward for coaches, to me, is the reward in seeing your players get something they work so hard for, that you try to talk to them about it all year. You talk to them about hard work, accountability, sacrifice, all those things leads to what's going to be the greatest experience in their collegiate life. And that's going to Omaha, which I've had a lot of great teams, and a lot of teams fell short. And you don't know how many former players we have that are going to be here at this event. The 68 World Series team, I was told, is trying to get out there, which they went the first time. So when a team from NC State goes to the greatest event that college baseball has to offer, then every player that's ever played in your program feels a part of that, as they should, because they built something that allowed this to happen. So this is all about the players, and I thought about it several times during the game. It was such a hard-fought last two games with Arkansas. Both could have gone either way. We were fortunate they went our way, and several times during the game, I thought, this is going to be so great if we pull this out for these guys. They deserve to go and be on this stage and walk into that beautiful stadium and experience what the College World Series is all about.
Go ahead, Jonas.
Coach, I wish I would have known we were bringing babies to the Zoom. I would have brought mine to the first part of the Zoom.
You know, I love your little girl. I told you she's a pretty little girl. You should have. I didn't plan that, but it happened. And by the way, Jonas, thank you. I don't take the paper, but somebody threw it on my doorstep this morning, and I didn't understand what was going on, why they would do it. And I opened it, and you wrote a very nice article. As I see my man back there, who has gone the last two trips. Rob, thank you. I've told you that, what you've done to get to those last two places we went. But I want to thank you for the article you wrote. I read it, and I took it by to show my mama. I'm sure she will enjoy reading it. So I just want to thank you.
I appreciate that, Coach. My question was, you talk about the College World Series as the greatest experience in college baseball. Having gone there in 2013 and realizing how hard it is to get back. Is there anything about this trip that you kind of want to soak in and kind of take advantage of for you to have those memories, because you know how hard it is to get back there and having gone there before and know how long it took to get back? Is there anything about this trip you want to make sure you kind of take it more in once you go out there this time?
Well, no, actually for me, it's not going to be much different. I told the players, the first group we took out there, we really thought we had a chance to win the national championship. We beat Carolina in the first game. We come back, and we had a base running mistake in the seventh inning. A fluke ball hit a fluke brick, and he came back, and they threw us out of the plate by an eyelash, and we lose that game 2-1. And UCLA goes on to win the national championship. So then Trey Turner had that ball that I thought was hit out of the ballpark. So did he, and we lost that game. So I told them it's hard not to get caught up the first time you go out there of all the aura and all the magical festivities. And unfortunately, a lot of those festivities are going to be cut short this year because of COVID. We visited some children's hospitals. We did some things, community service, which I thought our players did a great job with and really enjoyed. And it's rewarding not only for the people that you're going to see, it was rewarding for the players. So, and you had an opening ceremony the night before it opens, which was very, very magical. And I think all that's going to be cut short because of COVID. But there's still going to be a certain part of being out there and eye-opening things that they're going to look around and see. And but I also told them, as much as our team focused on winning that national championship, you need to go out there and make sure you get through with all that stuff. And when you come there to play ball, because these are games now that any mistake you make or any opportunity that you don't take advantage of is going to be magnified or be lost, and you may not get that opportunity again. So you got to take advantage of everything just to have a chance to advance in this field.
And our last question will come from Rob McLam.
So Elliott, how much, I know you mentioned a little bit about Stanford's pitcher. How much Pac-12 baseball do you get a chance normally to watch during the season? And what do you know about the Cardinal? And then I guess also about Arizona.
Well, I was out in New Mexico State for 8 years, and we were independent when I got there, and we joined the Big West Conference, and so it was made up of mostly schools out Cal State, Fulton, and Long Beach State. I spent a lot of time out in California recruiting junior college players, and so I have a lot of friends from out there, and know quite a bit about the Pac-12 and the greatness of that league. And I've just been told this might be as good an offensive team that the University of Arizona has ever had, and they've always been good. Matter of fact, my first game as a head coach was against Coach Jerry Kendall, who was one of the great coaches of all time, and they were #1 in the country. That was my first game ever to coach as a head coach, and I know how awesome Arizona was at the time, and I think they're back to where they were. And then I've heard Stanford, this as great as Stanford has been through the years, as great as they've always been with Mark Marquis, this is a Stanford team that is very offensive, and this pitcher we're going to face, a lot of people have just raved about how good he is. He's been doing it for a while, so he's a veteran, and we're going to have our hands full right off the bat.
How much do you remember about that first game you coached against Arizona? Did you win?
No. I think we got beat 10-4, and but I remember, Trevor Hoffman was at shortstop. Kevin Long, the hitting coach for the Yankees, was in center field. The pitcher was the great pitcher. The pitcher for the Orioles, I'm drawing a blank right now, had the long hair. What was his name? Lord, he was unbelievable. Pitched in the big leagues forever. And JT Snow, and all I can think of is I need to go back to the East Coast.